Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name is John Dubas with Premier Marketing. We'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour discussing one of the community marketing opportunities that agents in the insurance world have each and every year. And for some, they view it as an AEP activity, but it is an opportunity for us to work with certain centers of influence in our community on a year-round basis. And we'll discuss a little bit of that as well. The presentation is being recorded and will be made available on our website at premiersmi.com and on our YouTube channel at our website page on that. It's also important to note that your contacts with Premier Marketing, your agent success manager, will have this information as well. For many folks, they will look at today's topic and go, already, John? Gee, we're not even out of April. We're barely halfway through. Well, some of the organizations that offer these opportunities look for involvement early, staking your claim to certain areas in the world that are part of their domain. And so we want to make certain we have the information to you as quickly as possible. So if you are in that select group of agents that qualify for preferred placement in a manner of speaking, well, that you have that opportunity to make certain you have that decision in time to satisfy the requirements of that program. And so what we are discussing today is, hey, are you ready for retail? Since today's presentation is being offered to agents of different levels of expertise, we are making it as broadly acceptable as possible to agents. So for some of you, this may be review. For some of you, may not. But anyone in the realm of possibility of working retail, market venue opportunities, this is something that can be very helpful moving forward. As I mentioned, we look at this from the view of agents of different experience. So we want to start with a little level set. For those of you I see on the phone with us today that have worked with Premier in the past, you may know part of this or all of it. For those of you that haven't done anything with us in the past either, well, it's our opportunity to perform a level set, because Premier Marketing is a national marketing organization founded in 1968. That's part of the Integrity Marketing Platform, licensed in all 50 states. We're acting as an insurance wholesaler working through independent insurance agents such as yourself. And we do so through contracts that are at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available to those agents and agencies that qualify. We do so through a base network, or base offering, I should say, of programs that target our target demographic. We work a lot with the Medicare arena. So we have the base Medicare programs, the Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement plans, and the Part D prescription drug programs. This is very important because depending upon the avenue you pursue in the retail world, they may require 1, 2, or 3 of them, and may be a total prerequisite for certain carrier-based retail programs that we'll go through in just a second. We do also offer a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, including final expense life insurance and pre-need plans. Also offer long and short-term care programs and disability income plans. And those ancillary programs that are so important in covering specific needs of our prospects and clients, they're part of our offering as well. So in each of those different areas, we're able to help the general population through working with agents such as yourself. Medicare Advantage programs, national carriers are there, many of the strong regionals. This is important for you to take a moment and look at it, because in certain markets, there may be multiple retail programs made available, and which ones do you choose? Well, there's some back and forth on some of that, how you can get support and some of the other things that come into play. But if you're going to work a program with a particular carrier, you need that particular contract. So we spend a little more time on this today than we did in the usual fashion. With the PDP, MAPD programs, the Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans, you have access to the prescription drug programs, the standalone PDP plans. And you'll find that for the majority of these programs, they come as an addendum to the contract that you have with the MA carrier. A couple of exceptions. Mutual of Omaha is a separate contract than their other offerings, and CleverRx is a discount program and not a standalone Part D program. We look at Medicare Supplements. This is still important for us within the retail community because, one, we can market it. Two, we got to make certain we're offering the proper fit to the folks that we visit. And if you're working with a carrier that's requiring you to have multiple licenses in play, very important for us to know, because certain circumstances they'll ask about, did you enroll anybody in a Medicare supplement plan? You see that this is a very broad portfolio, and we actually have tools that can help you be very successful in this space as well. But we want you aware of that coming out of the gate. We don't want you to miss on any of the business that's out there and how you can work this throughout the year, utilizing your contacts within the community. We look at those ancillary products in each of those categories. The national players are there for you to use through our organization, and it can make a huge difference to you in a number of fashions. One, of course, you're going to get paid the commission for these products. And two, it gives you the opportunity, most important, to address these specific needs of our prospects and clients. But it also gives us a different way or an additional way of marketing. These programs don't have some of the same oversight as the Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and Part D prescription drug programs. So it's a great way to access additional means of advertising what we do and an additional way of driving business to ourselves and our agencies. When we look at the Medicare market overall, all these numbers, man, they only get bigger. It seems like year after year. You have the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, one every 10 seconds, 10,000 plus a day. And you see a near exponential growth as the tail end of the baby boomers age into Medicare. What we're finding, though, is not all folks that are becoming immediately available to Medicare benefits, well, they may be deferring them for one reason or another. For some of us on the tail end of the baby boomer phenomena, we are looking at Social Security full benefits at age 67. So it's cause for delay in certain circumstances. Some folks just might like working, and some folks may not be able to afford to retire either. So there are a number of reasons why this number may be adversely affected by the people that are accessing their benefits, but it's more than made up for by the people that are under the age of 65 and are accessing benefits because of disability, physical or mental. And it can make a huge difference for us when we pursue that target population, because accessing information on under 65 population in Medicare, well, you got to go to where they live, where they worship, where they seek care. And we got to make certain that we're doing things properly, even though that person doesn't look like a stereotypical Medicare recipient. Numbers are huge. You look at some of these different things that we come into play. I mean, nearly 51,000 people in Medicare Part D. That gives you an indication that if you are active in the MA market, you got a whole bunch of people to talk to. And you look at the number overall, over 65 million people. Well, that's a whole bunch of people that need our help moving forward, and they need it each and every year because benefits change. And so we want to take advantage of this huge market, access them through retail opportunities, and make certain that we're aware of the folks that are lower income and that can use our help as well. So it's a great way for us to identify people in a number of our target markets. MA to begin with, SNPs to layer onto it, and then of course looking at the people that are under the age of 65, in addition to that huge number of people that are on Medicare. Well, getting ourselves in front of them can be very, very profitable for all involved. We also want to make certain that we're communicating properly. So the acronym guide off the CMS website will give us detail as to what certain acronyms mean. And boy, there's a ton of them in our world. Well, every part of society has their own slant on language to a degree, but we want to make certain that we are providing the information our prospects need to make the decision of what may be best for them, whatever time of the year. And it gives us the reminder of, well, gee, when we use acronyms, we better define them. We better make certain that our prospects understand what we're saying, and We also want to make certain that if possible, maybe we don't want to use an acronym. We just use what it is. So it's a great way for us to translate and further explain the product that we offer. And when we look at retail, we have a number of different avenues that the Medicare population takes that can make a huge difference as to whether or not they are a prospect for us within retail. You look at the Medicare population overall, some of them, well, they don't have to do anything. They can defer Part B. You look through the numbers a little bit, and there are a number of folks that are doing that for one reason or another. There are also folks that say, hey, I don't want to pay anything extra, so I'll pay my A and B to get my base coverages with traditional Medicare. I may pick up that standalone Part D prescription drug program, but I'm fat and happy, so to speak, with that. And then you have the folks that are kind of in that same situation, but they are purchasing a standardized, modernized Medicare supplement plan to cover the financial shortfall folks find on coverages under Medicare. And then, of course, there is the Medicare Advantage population, the folks that are looking at Part C plans, where this is a main thrust of retail programs across the country. So if you have people that are looking to get a Med Supp and a PDP program, they need your help in a retail setting. You have folks that are looking at the Medicare Advantage programs. Well, you have people that need your help with the information you have available and can be made available through you. Then, of course, the folks that are just shopping their Part Ds, well, as Confucius says, many pebbles build a great wall. We want to make certain that we take care of them, utilize that as not only a sale, but a way of taking care of that part of our population, of course, but we also give us then the opportunity to have them in our book of business and to relate to them throughout the year over year, of the different offerings that we have and how that can make a difference down the road in a cross-selling situation, perhaps a reexamination of the base medical coverages that they have. So in each of those choices that someone has with Medicare, we have an opportunity to take care of them and an opportunity to meet them during a stay in a retail setting. We also want to make certain that we know that even though most of the programs don't start till the 1st of October, even if they do, and we're working through that 4th quarter of eligibility for the Medicare population, that population that is speaking with you may well be within that majority of folks that aren't looking at their coverages year over year, and they may well be a prospect for a sale as quickly as you can locate them in a retail setting for the 1st of the next month, if they have a special election period available to them. So this gives us the opportunity to speak to anyone that we come in contact with within working market venue opportunities. This gives us that opportunity to help people year over year, and some of them may not have done the homework, or they may have just been comfortable with their coverages, whatever it happens to be. It's the same whatever their base coverages are. And we find that the folks aren't using the detail that's put out there for the government for their help either. Some of them aren't even reading their Medicare and U handbook if they get it electronically or if they get it through the United States Postal Service. The detail that's available to them online through apps may not be accessed, and they may not even be looking at some of the detail that the government puts out on the internet in the form of videos. So in each of the situations that we have, we want to make certain that we have detail that can help people understand their choices and come to a solid decision based on the information that we provide to them, the discussions we have with them, and the ramifications of choices going forward. We can do so by delivering information in person. We don't see that too much anymore, but yeah, it still happens. Or we can provide information virtually. The use of our Medicare Center program allows us to do a lot of what's required to market to this population compliantly, electronically, without cost through that system. And then, of course, you have the folks that, hey, I might have gotten the information a little bit, well, no, not a little bit. I went to your microsite, your personal URL, and looked at information. So I know some of the things that are available to me. I want your help in order to do so, to take advantage of those situations. And so what you have are folks that may be completing the entire process virtually based on some information that you provided to them one way or another up front. And let's face it, the Medicare population, well, the senior portion of it particularly is becoming increasingly digitally savvy because we train them to do so. Ever since the pandemic hit, you got doctors that are doing calls, appointments, all virtually. And not just primary care, it's specialists as well. You have different folks within the spectrum of need that say, okay, I'm going into the hospital, or gee, I got some dental work that needs to come into play. In many circumstances, those situations are handled electronically as well. Hey, we even have parts of our lives that are all electronically now. So celebrating our faith, we have a population that is much more comfortable in receiving this information electronically, and we can do so very compliantly. Plus, for us, it's a great time saver, plain and simple. So let's give us the opportunity to figure out how we deal with these election periods. And when you speak to the opportunities you have within retail, there are agents that are still in stores now in the middle of April. They may not be in there as often or as long as they are during the open enrollment period or through the annual election period, most assuredly, but they are still gathering leads from those sites that they work in the fall. And that's a great way to stay in front of the professional community at that pharmacy. So they remember, hey, I got Agent Josephine here. I need to have people I talk to that some of them can't afford their meds, particularly. Let's have them talk to that insurance agent because they may have alternatives for them to take advantage of whatever election period they're in. And since right now we're in April as this is being recorded, we're not dealing with any particular election period that's standard across the board. We're looking at special election periods. So those unique opportunities that a person finds, many of it based on changing jobs and coverages, perhaps moving from one area to another, different service areas. That's the click there. There may be some things brought about by financial need, or hey, maybe they are fortunate enough to have a 5-star MA plan in their area. Whatever reason it is, we find that with these special election periods and perhaps special election periods that are dictated by weather and other causes and reminded us of those by the different carriers with whom we work. That, however, tells us that we've got a market year round for the Medicare opportunity. And by being aware of it and involving ourselves in different marketing activities, that can make a huge difference. So, are you ready for retail? Probably not, because not all the requirements have come out. What we're trying to do is get ahead of it because there are some folks engaged in one of the opportunities that, well, within the next couple of weeks, less than, they got to make a decision. So how do we market through these different pharmaceutical carriers? And how do we leverage that opportunity for a year-round opportunity? And then how can it be an important component of our marketing period or marketing processes moving forward? It's important for us as agents to realize we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. And so utilizing retail gives us an opportunity to create marketing opportunities within a certain propinquity of that location and really ingratiate ourselves into that market's population. And we plan for that at the first of the year, at AEP, however we need to adjust those goal settings and that market plan as well. It gives us the opportunity to look at retail options available with a ton of different carriers. With some of these, it may be through their eligibility or their participation in the Walmart campaign. And if that's the case, there's a whole lot of other carriers that aren't listed on here. We'll talk about them in a second. But then, of course, you have certain carriers that create and operate their own retail opportunities outside of Walmart. So you look at some things with Aetna, with Elevance, Anthem. You look at some things perhaps with UnitedHealthcare and other carriers in certain markets that offer their own retail program. And then, of course, you've got the Walmart program that we'll discuss, and that's the kicker of the timing for today. And of course, the programs you set up on your own. And gee, it's not as difficult as I made that sound and very snippily shut it off on a quick statement. It gives us the opportunity of realizing too that some of these might have changed year over year. And with some of the activity going on in our markets, well, that's a strong possibility when you look at certain carriers that may be struggling at this particular point in time. The key point with this, when you're looking at different retail options within the carrier population, that's what's dictating additional work in developing a relationship with the agent manager with a particular carrier with whom we contract and with whom we work or look to throughout the year, make them aware of our presence and make them aware of the fact that, hey, I'm willing to do this. It's part of my campaign that I want to utilize to sell product. And I want you to realize that I don't look at this as just a October 15th to December 7th opportunity, because it's much more than that. When we look at some of the particulars, we don't have a lot of detail on the carrier programs. I apologize if you come on this and go, well, gee, what's Aetna gonna do next year? We don't know. At this point in time, all honesty, we have no clue, in all candor. We want to make certain, however, though, that this is an awakening for us as agents with contracts with Aetna to make certain that we want to participate in retail programs, in market venue programs, and we want to work that opportunity through Aetna. And how can they leverage that unique relationship they have with CVS in order to do so? And if we get into a CVS, how can we make that time profitable for us moving forward? So what you see with Aetna in many circumstances is their own campaigns are in conjunction with their corporate partner, CVS. And you will see too, pardon me, ooh, managed to freeze there. You see some of the other opportunities available through other large carriers. So with Elevance, Anthem, Amerigroup, however it's labeled in your particular market, there may well be locations available through different retailers. This organization has a strong relationship with Kroger, and they have different requirements that they have as well. But we find in many markets, Kroger is located in areas of great traffic for the general population and for us as agents. So we get some of that flow that we want to make certain that we can take advantage of throughout the year. Some of the things that we have with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, this is the HCSC contract. So some of these same opportunities may be available in the other 4 states. Once again, that gives us that need to speak to the area market manager so they know we are looking for opportunities with Blue Cross Blue Shield in those 5 states, and that we are part of the folks that are going to take care of that for them. In the past, Blue Cross Blue Shield has worked hand in hand with Walgreens. Will that continue? Well, some of these other requirements they have may change as well, but generally we see that carry through year over year. We also have an opportunity through Bright with some of the things that have been made available in the recent past. They have worked very hard to be an option within the Walmart campaign with some of the financial challenges they may be handling or having right now. Well, you want to sell Bright in a retail situation, that might be the thing to do, is look very heavily at Walmart and make certain that you have that as part of your portfolio moving forward. We also want to make certain we have opportunities with the big blue gorilla, in a manner of speaking. UnitedHealthcare has been a big proponent of retail marketing throughout the year. They ask for certain things from you But much like a couple, two, three of these other carriers that I mentioned, they may have additional marketing support for you for a particular store as well. So it is something that we need to make certain that we are, well, we're looking for that opportunity and we want to take advantage of it. And once again, handled through area market manager, this is where we start speaking now about our desire to be part of retail marketing and how that can make a difference for us, well, in the short term too, because these big carriers, particularly like UHC or Anthem or Humana or whomever, they may have other marketing opportunities that they're working on that aren't entirely in a retail setting. And it may be that gives us the entree to work other marketing opportunities that the carrier has. So we want to make certain that we look at this as not just a year-round opportunity, but also a door opener, in a manner of speaking, of getting into the marketing vision of a particular carrier and some of the other things they're doing outside of a retail setting. Walmart, well, that's the reason why we're chatting today. For those of you that have been in retail in the past, it's pretty much some of the same stuff. We don't have a lot of details when it comes to participation, if that's changed, if the fee process for this one has changed, because keep in mind, generally with the other carriers, I think there's one or two that will ask for a nominal fee. This is the one that actually asks you to pay for your space in the store. And that's important for us to note. And that's important for us to then be aware of, who are the big dogs in my market? Do I have my contracts in play with them? What can I do to make certain that I'm able to satisfy this criteria now, early, without having to chase a whole bunch of different things through the preparation period that we have for AEP? And a lot of agents, once the next year's benefits come out that you can certify for, some of the focus may be lost to a degree. Yeah, you got to do your homework. Yeah, you got to be prepared. But yeah, we still got bills to pay throughout the end of the year, and utilizing relationships with retail facilities that we may have worked in the past is a great way to do that. And the biggie, well, we're looking at her here. And that's important because for agents that have worked successfully in this space in the past and had satisfied requirements that the Walmart program had for them throughout this last year's campaign, well, they may well be open to or have the right of first refusal. And what does that mean? Well, that means no one can take your store if you satisfied the requirements from the last full campaign, and that is made available to you before other individuals. Now, that is coming up as of the 1st of May. So you need to be prepared with, am I doing this again? Am I prepared to work the community around it? Do I have the dollars in play to make for paying that fee for the store itself? And am I prepared to dance with the band they are putting in play here, so to speak? I got to tell you, for most part, it's just a question of setting up a system and working through it. So they don't ask anything more than some of the other carriers do across the board, other than they may be asking you to do it with more than one carrier, which sometimes works really well to our advantage. These are some of the carriers that have participated in the past with Walmart. And we look at some of these and we're going, oh, yeah, okay, yep, I see that, I see that. And you will have folks that will have their own retail campaign, different carriers, and they're working with Walmart as well. Well, it's called covering the bases, but you have an opportunity for some very large carriers to work hand in hand with you in the Walmart opportunity. Now, keep in mind, when we get closer to additional details made available to us so we can properly communicate for you as well, is the fact that we're looking to across the board for the different carriers. Is this going to vary year over year? Hasn't too much, but what all is going to be made available? And then let's take a deep, honest look at our portfolio and say, hey, do I need to pick up someone else? Do I need to concentrate on one particular carrier more than the other? Well, it's possible. Now, these are ones that we've seen in the past. That's not a guarantee they'll be there in the future. My money on it is they probably will, but I can't speak to that with certainty. And then, of course, there is the Grassroots self-generated campaign. And this is the program that an agent does on their own, sometimes in conjunction with their marketing organization, sometimes in conjunction with their carrier of choice, sometimes in conjunction with the two of them, working together hand in hand to make this successful. But what we have here in a do-it-yourself campaign is an opportunity for us to take advantage of the detail we have, the knowledge we have of our target audience and our target market. This gives us then that opportunity to realize that, well, I might be better served in this area for one reason or another, because we have more folks that are going to a park and rec center. The Walmart doesn't necessarily work well for me because someone else has it all the time, it seems like. And then, of course, you got those other centers of influence in the community that you can create as a hub for your marketing opportunity, and working through our partners in the community and making them aware of what we're doing. Well, gee, that enhances that relationship as well. So it's a great way for us to look at key partners in the community, what carriers we have in play, and how we can use some of the different marketing material made available to us to make this a success. Because much as what we hear in the movies, where build it and they will come. Well, no, we don't want a bunch of dead people showing up in a retail situation. And quite frankly, just because it's there doesn't mean they'll come. So what are we going to do to tie in marketing efforts to make certain this isn't a waste of our time? And how can we then take this and imprint it upon management in our target market partner to have this work year round? Because part of what we want to do with retail is make it aware of the opportunity, make us aware of the opportunities we have with it year round, but also because of our activity now working into the opening of the annual election period, and then how we do thereafter can make a big difference as to whether or not we're actually considered as a partner for some of these centers of influence. So if you're doing a DIY, you're going to locate the location. You're going to identify the location that you want to work at for whatever criteria you have in play. You're going to make certain that you have the product to offer now and moving forward. You are comfortable with those programs because you've trained, you've attended some of the carrier information as well, to make certain that you are comfortable with the differences between the products you offer and maybe some others that are out there. And then, of course, how they are superior in your mindset as to choices for that individual. So we're mapping out a success strategy from the very beginning, from now. John, it's April. Yep. Gives us a little time to get out there, establish those relationships. It also gives us that time that as we go through and put that strategy in play, we're creating marketing opportunities quite possibly for now as well. So what we want to do is take advantage of the opportunity to create our own marketing opportunity, but also then maybe apply some of these messages, some of this material to the opportunity we have with a program that's set by a carrier or other organizations. So it gives us the opportunity to differentiate ourselves from everyone else that's marketing in this venue. We want to make certain that we're prepared for that opportunity as well. And so there are different strategies that you can come and utilize to become proficient in those offerings and make certain that we are maximizing our sales potential. Because even if you line up a whole bunch of leads, if you don't know what you're talking about, well, might be the blind hog finding an acorn, but it might not be. So the stronger we are in each of those areas can make a big difference for us. We want to make certain that we've done all of our trainings with the different carriers, and perhaps some extras above what they have required, because they can actually help us market as well. We want to make certain that we are aware of and how to work electronic enrollment systems, be it with the carrier or through organizations like Premier Marketing that utilize the Medicare Center and take care of it in that fashion. I mentioned some additional options that a person has to train for this opportunity. And many of those, it's an additional retail module that the carrier will require you to complete in order to make you aware of not only the compliance piece that comes into play, but the opportunity they have to market in that area. It gives us then also the opportunity to make certain that we have our knowledge in play for low-income subsidy and Medicare savings programs that can create SEPs for us now through the end of the year. In the fourth quarter, of course, with the open enrollment, they're like everyone else, but we've got some time to go before that. And we want to make certain that the knowledge base that we have with that enrollment tool that I mentioned with Medicare Center, different quote engines that are out there, the Medicare.gov guide, going to the website, utilizing that in certain circumstances. Are we opening ourselves up for a Medicare 101 review? Because that retail setting may be a group presentation. And are we asking for and successfully courting referrals in this opportunity and throughout the year? So we got to be careful. We want to make certain we don't put all our eggs in one basket. We're utilizing our hub, our chosen location, as a way to reach out into the community to help drive traffic and to help drive additional marketing opportunities. And we do so through those centers of influence. I keep beating that term to death, but hey, it's churches, synagogues, mosques, the centers of influence within the faith-based community, the nutrition centers that are out there, the senior centers, living facilities, provider sites, primary care specialists, could be dentists, it could be ophthalmologists or optometrists. So there are different things within your community, within a certain propinquity of your chosen hub, that are invaluable for you, not only driving business to the retail location, but also an opportunity to open up other marketing doors with those centers of influence now and during the upcoming AEP. Why do you want to do that with us? Well, we're going to make it as easy as possible to contract. You can create your agent profile and do some things electronically and pull and contract with agents on a virtual basis, in a manner of speaking. Many times, if it's a Medicare Advantage or PDP carrier, they may have an electronic process that we utilize there as well. But we want to make certain that we're making this as painless as possible and as succinct and quickly done as possible as well. We do offer discounted E&O for qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? Well, you got a contract with us. How are we discounting this E&O? Well, it's not a blanket E&O policy. It's one you own, and it's one you can use to satisfy in the contracting process with whomever you're contracting to. Premier is huge, but we don't offer every contract everywhere. I don't know of anybody that does. This gives you the opportunity to protect yourself of whom you contract through. We also have a piece in play to help make certain that your license is current, and that's through discounted continuing education bundles through our association with WebCE. And as an independent agent, you have an opportunity to add to your own benefit package as well through a modified guarantee issue program for disability income, on which you're paid a commission on yourself as well. I mentioned where today's presentation is being recorded and will be made available on our website and on our YouTube channel. Past presentations have been as well. So if you're working the area around your chosen hub and you learn of marketing opportunities for a group setting with a center of influence in the community, well, we may well have the presentations already set for you to use based on the topics. How to maximize that relationship with an additional center of influence. So some things that can really help you 24/7, much as where this one's going to be made available very shortly. We do offer a range of incentives for different programs. They come through the carriers, This will be put behind our wall because of different compliance requirements that are coming into play, but that page is there for you. So if you're working certain ancillary products or perhaps med sup or final in those areas, that carrier may be offering additional incentives to write business throughout a month. A certain amount you're going to get paid extra, whatever it happens to be. And that may help you qualify for carrier trips and for premier incentive programs as well, including what's, well, gee, just happened last week with our producers convention and how different programs will be made available in the future moving forward. We do, of course, want to make certain that you have access to Medicare Center and all of the pieces that come into play with it and the opportunity it brings us to cross-sell, to use the tool to do so. If you haven't taken advantage of a review of this, we got it recorded for you as well. Some I think would be invaluable to you as you work retail, because you're working on a particular product, whatever the door opener happens to be, and you can cover additional needs. How can you seamlessly transition for that? Are you able to on different compliance regulatory pieces that are put in our path? And can it make it easy for you? This can do that. So once you're in Medicare Center utilizing the CSG option, you're going to have different ways of cross-selling through the system as well. And that's important because the more product we have in the house, the better our acquisition is. It's going to drive down our cost of acquisition, our retention, our persistency is higher. And it's important to note that these products, they just have to be with the same agent, and that's you. So it's a great way for you to grow your renewals. It's the piece we referenced a little bit earlier, the marketing things that come into play. We do, of course, have different lead programs that can be a benefit for you. For those of you that can still cold call compliantly for certain products, we can help you with lists, prices of which will vary according to your relationship with the organization. And then, of course, there are those community-based programs that I keep mentioning ad nauseum, it seems like a little bit. But you also, at this point in time, if we start talking to agent managers with different MA carriers in a market, and we do so consistently, that's going to put us in line perhaps for some carrier-generated prospects that those MA or PDP carriers do. Can't be guaranteed, but if you're working with them and you're closing some business for them, they are going to help you as well. We do offer an internet social media guides or leads, direct mail support, lead center we're going to go through in detail here in just a minute. We'll speak to a T65 locator that can be helpful for you during retail, particularly, and a reminder referral program to make certain that a single lead that comes to you, it goes forth and it multiplies. So one lead becomes multiple leads simply by asking key questions at key times without coming off hardcore and pushy. That mail program, it is a discount program based on production. It gives us the opportunity to conduct our own direct mail programs based on our parameters and do so at a discount. So you have one program in play for leads for the health leads, and then another for final expense. So you can technically qualify for two different programs in direct mail support. We do so through preferred lead vendors. We vet these organizations. We want to make certain the systems they have in play can get you that lead as quickly as possible, and that the correspondence they're sending out to generate that lead is compliant as well. We also have an opportunity to fill your calendar with never distributed direct mail leads as well. So one of our partner organizations that does a ton of mailing, well, the mail that comes back, you have an opportunity to purchase it. Depending upon the age of it, where you are, the different program types, this gives you an opportunity to do some things fairly economically and plug holes in your schedule all the time by making this a lead source that you access to purchase leads. But keep in mind, it varies from area to area, year to year. It's supply and demand here, but it's a great way to fill that calendar hole with a lead, an individual who has raised their hand and has never been talked to. Internet leads, this first program is based off of Facebook. You have an opportunity to to interact with folks that are going to get you final expense leads and Medicare leads. One of the things that I would suggest, since many people do it anyway, is, hey, conduct your own internet lead programs. But keep in mind, if you're purchasing leads this way or through our sister system that utilizes a lot of the responses based off of search engine optimization, this is a program that delivers leads quickly and expects follow-up quickly as well. I had a friend who got a lead at 1 o'clock in the morning. By 6 o'clock when she responded, that lead had already gone someplace else. So if you're working internet leads, be aware of the fact that you need to be particularly quick on the response to make them really work for you. That lead center that I referenced a wee bit earlier, well, it's part of the Medicare Center program, and it is a conglomeration of different lead support programs that can come to you based off of your budget, when you want them, how many a day, what part of the week, whatever it happens to be, and how you want it delivered. So they can do a hot transfer. They can download the information in your CRM within Medicare Center and make certain then that you have quick leads, strong leads throughout the year. And it's all based on the sale price on a lot of these leads, and then your budget and what you want to deliver to your own agency through the use of this, hey, give me some of that type of folks. Geez. T65 Locator, this is a really cool tool. Made available without cost to agents that contract with us. You download it to one of your smart devices. They check and make certain that you've got a contract with us. And then you can use it by adjusting the parameters of a search, and it'll lay out where people are physically. So for those of you that work retail and you perhaps want to start out with a door knocking campaign for Medicare Supplements, can't do it for MA or PDP, you can for Med Sup or maybe for dental. It's a way to have people realize that, hey, when it comes time to review your overall program, I'm right down the road here at this particular site. So you can use this to engage the community around your retail location as well. Remember, you got to be careful about how you approach different people with this in order to stay compliant. That referral program that I mentioned a couple of times, that not only deals with the sales process of having people bring in folks for the initial meeting or think of people throughout the course of the presentation where that particular benefit may be of great need to someone they know. Whatever it happens to be with an individual, whether you sell them or not, it's a great way for you to replace that individual in your prospect book by getting other people within your sites through people you already have or that you're now. It's also a great way for us to go to our book of business, engage people through that CRM, through Medicare Center, and go, hey, I got a great program that just became available to me. It deals with some really good dental benefits. Do you know of people in the area that I can help? And the hardest thing to do is shut up and wait. And that individual will think, well, I'm not certain. Well, I might be able to use it. So it's a way for you to engage your book of business as well. We want to make certain that you know that we are looking to work with you hand in hand, regardless of the marketing campaign that you use. We got a ton of experience in the retail arena, and we want your business. So you are looking for an opportunity to work this moving forward. Don't wait. Reach out to your agent marketer and say, hey, I want to be considered for these different marketing programs. How can we find out who does what? Well, you'll know that Walmart is probably there. What stores may be available to you may be another question, but have we laid into our other carrier partners to see what opportunities they have, or do you want to conduct a program on your own? All this is an opportunity for us to work with you, and we want your business. Retail is an opportunity for you to add to your personal marketing plan now, where it may not have as huge of an immediate impact as it does during the annual election period, but you might be surprised. This might be the absolute best time to go out and muddy the waters, so to speak, because there are folks now that are going, gee, it's April. I can't afford some of my medications. Who can help me? Who can deliver information to me through my church or whatever it happens to be? So if you're out there being active, it's the old, even a blind squirrel will find an acorn. You put it in play, you don't need to procrastinate, and you can make it work for you very quickly. We do all this because, hey, we want to be your partner. We want to be in play for you moving forward. And for those of you that have worked with Premier in the past or are working with Premier now, thank you for that opportunity. We look to enrich it through different marketing opportunities and carrier opportunities that we have in the future. For those of you that are just checking us out, thanks for that opportunity. Let's look at some of the different valuable items we bring to the table, so to speak, and how they may work with your portfolio and how we can help each other now and in the future. But for everyone that has come on today's presentation, and it appears I have the questions answered for us here today, or at least what's being asked, I want to wish you good selling. Thanks so very much. We'll talk to you on our next presentation. Have a great day.